Hello and welcome to Van TV Media. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends to get daily updates.
Hello guys, welcome back to our platform guys. If you're new here, please just consider subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that in case we do upload any story, you'll be the first one to view. Guys, there is a raising questions among West countries, more so USA, whereby we have seen USA is complaining on why most of the countries here in Africa are breaking their relationship and getting into a new relationship with the other countries. We saw there is a time whereby we saw the minister in USA complaining on the US are trying to maintain peace here in Africa, trying to maintain security here in Africa, in Trans-Sahara Africa, fighting Al-Shabaab, yet some of the countries here in Africa are not cooperating. You saw some of the countries like Kenya. He said things like Kenya is not cooperating with USA, has decided to make another new relationship with China. This comes after President Ruto went to China and decided to make his relationship with China. Just watch this video and we'll proceed on.
Engaged in talks with Kenya over a potential free trade agreement, a first for sub-Saharan Africa. And now Secretary Rubio and other senior officials have ramped up engagement and confronted threats from Al-Shabaab and the Islamic State head-on. But these efforts cannot be siloed. They must be part of a broad strategic effort to protect American interests in Africa while also protecting the U.S. taxpayer's pocketbook. Many African nations maintain troubling ties with China, including key national security partners. Just last month, President Ruto declared that Kenya, a major non-NATO ally, and China are co-architects of a new world order. That's not just alignment to China, it's allegiance. I submit for the record the text of that speech. I'm going to enter it in the record at the conclusion of the hearing that describes this. Relying on leaders who embrace Beijing so openly is an error. It's time to reassess our relationship with Kenya and others who forge tight bonds with China. And it isn't just an embracement of China, but also the, quote, new world order, end quote. Still, there are countries where meaningful engagement is possible, but only with sober judgment and clear-eyed realism. We must stop building U.S. policy in Africa around individual leaders and instead focus on strengthening institutions, expanding private sector ties, and empowering the region's young and dynamic populations. Watching President Ruto with the Chinese holding hands and talking about a new world order is just stunning. After all the work and effort we've put in there, and to see him talking about a new world order, you know, the new world order was constructed by the United States and democracies, capitalist countries that are human rights loving countries, and the new world order that these countries are talking about is being constructed by the autocracies, the outright communists, socialists, people who have no respect for human rights. It's stunning to hear countries talk about wanting to join or promote that world order when the world order that was constructed after World War II has served us so really well. Certainly not perfectly, but then again, the world isn't a perfect place, but so much better than what you'd see if the autocrats took over. It's discouraging to hear that, and part of it, I think, is tied to the fact that when we do things in Africa, they seem to be individual-centric instead of a country-centric. We don't focus on institution, we focus on individuals.
Okay, hope you've seen this. This is what they were discussing in all about. The United States was currently negotiating a free trade agreement with Kenya. The first of its kind is Sub-Saharan African. If successful, it would mark a new chapter in economic cooperation between Washington and Nairobi. But this move is about more than trade. the top US official, including Secretary Rubio, are rambling up their presence in the region in confronting threat like Al-Shabaab and the Islamic State. These are the real security concern, and Washington is taking them seriously. Yet the African countries, this is Kenya. Kenya is not cooperating on fighting the Al-Shabaab the way they have decided to fight. So some of the thing US is now fearing is that there are some of the things he's doing to Africa, but this Africa are not cooperating with them the way they thought, like the way they agreed, like. So this thing that made President Ruto to go to China has raised a lot of concern to USA. And you remember there's a time Michael Langley was questioned on how the US were training military. There was a question where was asked, why does the US continue to train African military when some of the officers trained later turn around and lead coup? There's a question Michael Langley was asked about this. US are training the military, but after all, military are turning back and being a coup. The best example is Ibrahim Traore. I think is Ibrahim Traore is the one threat here, cause you see US is fighting Burkina Faso, is fighting Ibrahim Traore for leading people of Burkina Faso, is fighting Ibrahim Traore for not allowing West to get the minerals in Burkina Faso. Yet they are claiming that they are the one who trained the military in West countries. So African countries have been waking up. African countries are now coming up and turning USA and making new relationship with the other countries, which has made the USA to feel like they are lonely, which has made the USA to feel like they are using taxpayers' money of USA to do some things here in Africa, feeling that they may get the best service from these countries, but these countries overturn it, and these countries turn to get a new relationship with China. This has come after President William Ruto decides to work with China. So it has made a lot of concern. We saw the president of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu, saying that she's no longer using the dollar, whereby whenever some of the countries refuse to use dollar, there's a problem that may take over in US, because the dollar may go down. There are some of the countries like Uganda. You saw some Uganda saying that Museveni is saying that he will make sure that those products that are being produced in Uganda, he will make sure that he will be using himself instead of allowing some of the countries to come in and get those things. So this is some of the things that US is passing through. This is the headache that US is passing through in different sectors. We saw by training those military, the military overturn and become coups. They are looking after the security of Trans-Saharan Al-Shabaab, making sure that they fight Al-Shabaab. But Kenya, country like Kenya, is not cooperating with it. Instead, country like Kenya is trading with another country.
Hello and welcome to Van TV Media. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends to get daily updates.